Mm. Hello and welcome. Today, our practice is going to be a chair practice. And I think this is really important because, when we have injuries or as we age, our body is or is not able to necessarily go into all of these, what I will call traditional poses. So, what I'm going to do today is show you a chair practice. And I'm also going to do some poses that would traditionally be done on the floor against a wall here behind me, just so that you know what your options are, so that when you're going into poses or you're doing these videos from home, especially, you might not necessarily have a chair at a studio that you could be working in. But with these videos that you are watching from home, you get to make all of the adaptations you need or want. So I just want you to feel empowered to have all of the choices that are available to you so that you can make the decisions that are most in alignment with where your body is at today. So I have just, a chair. I recommend a chair without sides, unless you're a very tippy person, right? And by tippy, I mean your center of gravity is off. You might want sides to keep you in the chair so you don't topple on over. But if that's not an issue for you, I would recommend a chair that doesn't have sides. And then when you come into your seat, I'm going to take my slippers off here. You want your feet flat on the earth. You want to really feel the earth beneath your feet. You want your knees stacked over the ankles, and you don't want your back resting against the back of the chair. Actually, chairs with backs is like one of the number one causes of bad posture. So by not using the back of the chair, you're using the muscles of the core, the front and the back body to hold you up nice and tall, right? You're not leaning back, slumping, creating a curvature in the spine. You want that nice flat back. And that's from the tip of the tailbone all the way extending to the crown of the head. So just imagining as if you're getting taller, creating some space between each vertebra here, and then taking a nice big deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, soften the shoulders down the back body. So the spine is keeping it tight, but the shoulders have softened and the hands come to rest comfortably on the thighs. From this place here, you can really feel some engagement in the muscles of the body. Staying here in this integrity, and then as you're ready, allowing the eyes to soften or close all the way. Inviting that inhale through the nose and that exhale back out the nose. Using that breath to help bring your awareness to the present moment. Any other thoughts pop into the mind, you can just gently and lovingly send them on their way, letting that thought know that you will tend to it in its right time. But this time is sacred, and it is yours for your practice. Beginning to elongate that exhale until it is twice as long as the inhale. Feeling each exhale root you deeper down into that connection to the earth through the feet, through the sits bones connected to the chair, and the chair connected to the earth beneath you. Always being able to tap into that sense of grounding, whether in a chair or sitting directly on the earth. And then beginning to deepen that inhale, inviting it first all the way down to the bottom of the belly, feeling that belly button expand out on the inhale, and then moving up into the low ribs, feeling those expand out in all four directions, and then all the way up into the upper chest, filling the whole lungs with breath and air. And then exhale, releasing that breath all the way back down to the bottom of the belly, feeling the belly button tuck back and in. Inhale, starting at the bottom of the lungs, filling that whole torso, expanding out in all four directions, and then pausing before beginning that exhale nice and slow, twice as long as the inhale. Continuing a few more rounds of this Dirga 3-part breath. Keeping those shoulders softened down the back as you do this. The muscles of the face softened. And then as you're ready, releasing that breath, returning to a normal state of breathing, and taking the opportunity to reflect on your inner experience when you cultivate this sense of grounding, the length to the spine, the slowing down in the intentional breath work. How is that different than when you first came to sit in this chair? Taking the time to honor these gifts and tools, knowing that you can utilize them at any point in your life, not just when you're watching this video. And as you're ready, begin to just wiggle the fingers and toes, bringing your awareness back to the video, your environment around you. And inhale, bring the arms out wide, side to side, lifting to the sky. Gaze also lifts up as the palms touch. Exhale, slide the palms down to heart center, tucking the chin into chest. Inhale to come out and up. Exhale to return home. I'd encourage you to really slow the movements down so that every bit of that inhale is spent bringing the hands to the sky. And every moment of that exhale is being utilized as you bring the hands back to heart center. Finding a balancing gesture in marrying your breath and your movements. One more time here in this sun breath. Imagining here that you're scooping up some warmth and sunshine. To exhale, bring down to the heart, to giving it some warmth. On the next inhale, bring the head back up to center. Hands can stay at the heart here, or you can bring them to the thighs. Inhale to tuck the chin into the chest. And exhale to roll one of your ears towards its shoulder, noticing that it's not coming to the shoulder, just rolling in that direction to get the stretch in the neck. Inhale to roll that chin back to center. Exhale to the other side. So once again, marrying breath and movement of inhale to roll the chin to center. Exhale to bring the ear towards the shoulder, all while maintaining that length and integrity in the spine up to the neck. So feet still firmly rooted, shoulders still softened, tip of the tailbone engaged and activated, connecting to the seat. Evening out on both sides here. And on that next inhale, returning back upright to that fully centered position where the head is over the heart is over the pelvis. Bring one hand down to the side of your chair, And then inhale, lift that other arm up and overhead, coming into a side stretch, making sure that you pulling that back thumb back. So there's not this rounding forward, but you're really opening up the heart while coming into the side stretch, knowing that this stretch can still be done using all of the same muscles, but lower impact by keeping the hand on the hip. So choosing what's going to feel right in your body. One more breath cycle here with that inhale and exhale out of the nose, letting your breath guide you and keep you centered in your practice. Inhale to come all the way up and through, and exhale over to the other side. As you're here, once again, evaluating, are you keeping the muscles of the face soft? Is the brow line relaxed? Is the jaw unhinged? Is the tongue, I was going to say rooted to the bottom of your mouth, but mostly softened to the bottom of the mouth? And then inhale to come back to center. This time, let your hand float to the outside of the opposite knee. And then the other hand floats back behind you. So it could just come to like the edge of the chair, or it could come all the way to the back of the chair, rooting you and helping you twist as you exhale, turn and look out past that back shoulder. So depending on where that back hand is really going to depend on how deep the stretch is. And this is where you really want to pay attention to any numbness, tingling, or pinching, because those are signs that your body is asking you to perhaps come out of that twist a little bit, remembering this is your practice. There's no right or wrong. There is just your experience in this body, and whether or not you are listening to it and honoring it. Inhale brings you back through to center, and exhale to the other side. Really using the inhale on this side to lift and lengthen through the crown, and the exhale to see if you could twist a little bit further, perhaps look a little bit further past that back shoulder, keeping your integrity in this posture by keeping the length through the spine and listening to the body. Inhale to unravel, returning to center, this time hands on the knees here. Inhale, slide the shoulders closer together on the back body, arc the back, lift the heart, opening it towards the sky, gaze to the heavens. Exhale, round the spine, shoulder blades slide apart, chin to chest, tucking that belly button up and in. Inhale to open. Exhale to round. So this is that traditional cat-cow position that would be done in tabletop, can be easily modified to the chair here. This is an awesome little tidbit to do at work. If you work at a desk, all of these are options. If you've got a 15-minute break at work, you've got a lunch break, these are great things to be doing. Those side stretches, twists, and this cat-cow, those are the 6 rotations of the spine. And if your goal is to be flexible and have a healthy spine for the rest of your life, I would recommend doing these gestures every single day. One more round here with your breath, guiding you. And then inhale back up to center, coming into that alignment that we started with. So you're not leaning back against the chair back. You're lifting through the spine, core muscles are engaged, feet firmly planted on the earth, and knees are stacked over shoulders, over ankles while the shoulders stay softened. Beautiful. From here, you're going to inhale, pick up one foot. Now, the goal here is to bring that foot all the way up and over across that opposite thigh. However, any gesture, right? Any movement in that direction is progress, right? This is the goal. The end goal is to get it all the way up and over. But if that's not available to you today, you can work towards strengthening those muscles and finding that flexibility just by bringing the foot in that direction. I'm going to bring it all the way up, but wherever you are, just get it as far as you're able to. And then if this feels good and you're like, ooh, I got this, I want to explore what it'll feel like to add another layer, you can inhale to lift the hands up to the sky and exhale to fold forward over that leg. Hands can just come to rest wherever is comfortable, creating a deep side stretch here in the sciatica. And that, I believe, also the psoas. Same here for 2 more breaths in and out of the nose. All while keeping that length through the spine. So I'm not, rounded here where my head is lower than my back. I'm still keeping that same alignment. Inhale, activate those muscles of the belly, and then from the hips, as if you're a book that's opening, hinging back up, that nice flat back, bringing that foot back down to the earth and coming to the other side now. Same options here. So you choosing, acknowledging that each side of the body is different. And just because you did something on one side doesn't necessarily that's going to be in alignment for your body on the other side. So take the time to be a little curious, bring a little bit of inquiry to the practice and see where your body's at. Choosing how you're going to embody this pose. And then if it's right for you, using that inhale to lift to the sky. And that exhale to hinge forward from the hips. Deep breaths here. When we're going into these deeper stretches, really sending that awareness, that breath to that part of the body and using any exhale to release tension that may be there. Inhale to slowly rise back up, unravel from wherever you are. And we're going to do a little flow here, like a little forward fold flow. So taking on that same gesture we just did with that forward fold and that figure 4 position that we were just in, and also sort of marrying that sun breath we just did. So you know everything we're doing, you've already done, you've got this. All right, inhale to lift up to the sky. Exhale to forward fold over the legs, seeing if you can get those hands down to the earth. Inhale to slowly ragdoll your way up, one vertebrae at a time, letting the head be the last thing that rises. Coming back to center. Inhale to lift to the sky, eyes lifted. Exhale to dive down. Inhale to slowly ragdoll, connected to those muscles of the belly, helping them get stronger and continuing on. Going through 3 more rounds of this flow. After you finish that 3rd round, returning to center and big moves here. We're going to inhale, shift and turn. So you're going to have one leg in front of you, front knee over front ankle. That other knee is got toes will be curled under, depending on the height of your chair. Some people use a stool, might depend, that knee might come to the earth, it might be floating. As long as it feels okay, like find the placement of where there's not pressure on the knee for you and what's going to feel good here. Right? And you're almost sort of like shifting so that whole leg, that hip is off the chair. So you can feel those core muscles really engaged here. Chair yoga is no joke, okay? You're still doing a lot of work here. So the hips are squared in front of you, right? If there was flashlights on those hips, they'd be shining straight ahead. Front knee is stacked over front ankle. That same alignment through all the way through the crown of the head over heart, heart over center. And from here, inhale, lifting those arms up and overhead here, coming into your warrior. Now, option here to use an exhale, leaning back, getting a bit of a back bend here. Yogi's choice, remembering everything here is an option for you. It's all information for you to take in, disseminate, and decide if it's in alignment, in this posture, in this body, and in this moment. Now, if extending the arms feels like not your jam in this moment, you could also exhale, slide those hands down to heart center, choosing your level here. If you've got that back bend, use an inhale to bring everything back to center in alignment. And then when you're ready, gently turn, returning back to center. Pausing here, bring a hand to the belly, a hand to the heart. Allow the eyes to soften or close. And just feel what you're feeling here. How is your practice going? Are you able to find your edge, that sweet spot where you can feel a pose everywhere in your body, muscles working harmoniously together, keeping that connection to the breath, rather than in a place where there's not engagement or there's pain? Finding the edge is specific to you. Inhale to bring your awareness back to the space, perhaps wiggling those fingers and toes again. And then big moves to the other side now. So once again, taking that moment to come into alignment, sliding those hips off to the edge, curling those toes under, figuring out where this knee is going to be comfortable. Front knee stacked over front ankle, and then hips squared, facing the same direction of that knee. Shoulders softened, abdomen engaged. And then inhale, lifting the arms or bringing hands to heart center, choosing if you'd like to add a little back bend here. Breathing deep. option to layer on a little yoga smile by turning up the corner edges of the mouth to bring a little joy to your practice. Two more breath cycles here. Letting that breath ground and root you. And then on that next exhale, slide the hands down, returning to center once again. Hand to the belly, hand to the heart, whole body in alignment here. Just take 3 deep breaths, feeling what you feel, learning from this experience. Inhale to bring your awareness back to the space around you. From here, we're going to stand up. So standing up, and we're going to do some heart openers. So I'm going to show you how to do puppy pose and threading the needle using the wall rather than laying down right on the earth. I'm trying to think if we inhale. Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna go back to you. So you're gonna inhale, bring your arms up the wall here, all right? And then exhale, begin to lean forward. So this is a big heart opener. See if you can get that forehead all the way to the wall. Now, this can be a really nice place for even a block. If your forehead isn't gonna make it to the wall in a way that feels like you're finding your edge so that you're keeping that connection to the breath and finding pain, then you could place a pillow, a yoga block, box of tissues, something that will bring the wall to you. Just holding here. Tush is sort of extended out a bit here. Slight micro bend in the knees, so not locking the knees because that's where injury can happen. And that exhale to soften those shoulders just a little bit more. Breathing deep here. Inhale to begin to slide those hands back. If you are using a prop against the wall, you can pick that up, move it right out of the way. And then this time, inhale, we're going to spread one arm up the wall and take that other arm, threading it under, leaning against the wall here. So sort of see how my hips are moving? So depending on how far the hips are twisted will depend on how this stretch feels in that left shoulder. That shoulder that's against the wall. Choosing what's going to feel good to you. Oh, and remembering that this is a safe space for sighs, moans, groans. Like if you've got a noise right now, if you're just like, yes, I've been holding something there forever and now it's finally coming out, that tension. Oh, sigh it out, let it out. Inhale, slide that extended arm back down closer to the shoulder, pressing against the wall, taking that arm off from the wall, and then other side. So sliding that other arm up the wall now And then threading that opposite arm underneath it, bringing the shoulder to the wall, and then putting your weight on that shoulder, knowing that if you twist the hips to be more in parallel to the wall, you're going to put more pressure on that arm, side of the head now against the wall. Breathing deep here. Keeping that slight micro bend in the knees, shoulders still softened. Once again, exploring, is there a sigh, a moan, a groan that's ready to come out here? Knowing that when we release tension in the body, we can also release tension in our heart, in our mind. It's all connected. Inhale, slide that extended hand back down, pressing gently against the wall, bringing yourself back to a standing position. You can bring that chair back over to you. We're going to do a little bit of balancing poses with that chair to aid you. So if you did have a chair that didn't have a back on it for your the previous part of your practice, I would recommend having that now, or even just bringing your hand against a wall. So that same connection to the earth through the feet that you had in that seated position, slight micro bend in the knees, pelvis tilted just slightly forward to help you lift and lengthen through the crown, evenly lifting through the front and back body. Shoulders soften down, and then bringing one hand to the chair or the wall, the other hand to the hips. And we're just going to begin by inhaling, lifting that knee that's opposite from the chair up. Exhale down. Acknowledging that even just hovering off the ground is an option here. Exhale to bring it down. No matter how far you come into this pose, make sure that you are pressing really into that foot that's grounded to the earth. So if I'm not pressing into that foot, my hips will go to the side. But when I press down, whoop, everything comes into alignment. So like a nice straight line from that foot that's connected to the earth all the way through the crown of the head here. One more time on this side, using that breath to guide you. And then bringing the chair over to the other side here, taking the time you need to set up for success. Coming once again into that mountain pose, that standing, solid, sturdy posture, because you are tall and strong like a mountain, my friend. Connecting through all four corners of the feet. Finding that same length to the crown of the head, perhaps a little yoga smile by turning up the corner edges of the mouth. Bringing your hand to the chair or the wall, opposite side now. And inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. So these balancing poses, it's connecting to these core muscles, building that strength. And think those core muscles are what help keep your spine in alignment. They help with our ability to walk out in the world, to hold ourselves upright. And so anytime even that you're sitting and watching TV, you're working at a desk, I would encourage you not to lean against the back of your seat, but sit closer to the edge. Engage those muscles and lift through the crown. We've created a society where we are often hunched over, driving, on our phones, on our computers, and we can counter that gesture by sitting intentionally. Also a great recommendation to lift your computer up off your desk so it's at eye level. All right. Wonderful job. Plant that foot, bring the chair back in front of you and come to a seat here. Coming into our Shavasana now. So this is where everything I just said, throw out the window, right? Because now we actually do want to just fully relax and release into the support of the chair. In Shavasana, you want to relax as many muscles as possible, because the more softened you are, the more relaxed you are, the more your body is able to receive and integrate this practice into long-standing change in both the body, but also the mind, your perception about how you connect to and relate to this physical being that you inhabit. Okay? It's no small thing, it's a big deal. So relaxing as much as you're able to. Take 3 breaths in through the nose and do those sort of donkey lips. I don't think that's the technical term, but right, really to feel it softening. So as you do 2 more of those, imagine a softening sensation melting down your whole body. One more here. Letting it all out, letting it go. And fully surrendering all those muscles of the face, the neck and shoulders, the chest, back, low back, and abdomen, the pelvis and glutes, the thighs, knees, shins, calves, ankles, tops of the feet, bottom of the feet, and toes, the shoulders, down towards the elbows, all the way to the hands, the palms, the wrists, the fingers, each finger pad, everything softening, slowing down the whole body, thanking yourself for this time and this practice and this body that serves you on this day and every day that will follow. Letting that gratitude lead you into your Shavasana. You can begin to wiggle the fingers and toes here, perhaps making wrists with the ankles, circles with the wrists and ankles. Breathing deep here, bringing your awareness back to this body, this space and this time. When you're ready, Finding that length again once through the spine, firmly rooting those feet to the earth. And inhale to bring the hands to heart center, closing our practice with 3 Oms today. My wish for you on this day and every day that follows: peace of body, peace of heart, and peace of mind. Namaste. Be well, my loves. I hope you've enjoyed this practice. If you have any questions, reach out to me. Let me know. I am here for you, friend. Take care and be well. Bye.